So 2 on one side, 2 on the other side, with 6 feet apart in between.
All right.
Perfect. Carolyn, we're good. Great. Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. We're here to provide a brief statements. My name is Maribel Martinez, the director for the Office of LGBTQ Affairs. We have some brief statements on Pope Francis's acceptance of LGBTQ people and support for legal rights for same-sex couples. Pope Francis became the first pontiff to endorse same-sex civil unions in comments of a documentary that premiered Wednesday. In this feature-length film, Francesco, which aired in Rome Film Festival, the Pope noted, homosexual people have the right to be in families. They are children of God. You can't kick someone out of a family nor make their lives miserable for this. We have to have civil union law that way they will be legally covered. We are encouraged by the words of Pope Francis and hope that this is a beginning of a shift within the Catholic Church to fully embrace LGBTQ peoples. In the county of Santa Clara, we strive to create a community that is accepting, affirming, and inclusive of LGBTQ individuals and families. Through the work of the Office of LGBTQ Affairs and the Division of Equity and Social Justice. When it opened in 2016, the Office of LGBTQ Affairs was the first of its kind in the nation at the county level. Locally, the office and the county's LGBTQ residents have benefited from the wonderful support of our diverse and embracing faith leaders, but more still is needed to be done. It is wonderful to know that LGBTQ people around the globe are now one step closer to experiencing full acceptance from faith communities. We know that for many in our community, religion can be a great source of comfort or a source of injury. We applaud Pope Francis for standing up for LGBTQ communities. With that, I'll turn it over to our former elected official, Ken Yeager, the first openly out gay elected in Santa Clara County and the executive director for Baymack Foundation.
Thank you, Maribel. It's wonderful to be here today making comments on really what is a very historic moment in the LGBTQ movement. It's also wonderful that we're here at McEntee Plaza, where we know that the county of Santa Clara flies the rainbow flag and the transgender flag every work day. This is a center that has been working hard for decades to include everybody in our community, in our social life. I couldn't help but think of all of the young LGBTQ youth that are still suffering by growing up with families and a church that still believe that they are somehow evil or sinful, or that they need to change who they are. And I just know that there was just a lot of hope that was created when those kids heard on the news that their Pope was in support of civil unions for LGBTQ people. What a remarkable statement that is, given the millennium of the hatred that the Catholic Church has had for gay people. I know that we have a long ways to go before the Catholic Church is going to actually endorse civil marriages, civil unions, and when they will be able to conduct marriages in the Catholic Church. But one thing that we know here in Santa Clara County and in California, it's the first step that matters. The first step. And that's what we finally have today with the Pope expressing support for civil unions. We know that we have a long ways to go, but there's no doubt that one day the Catholic Church is going to be accepting of civil unions and of LGBTQ people, and that is going to improve the lives of millions of Catholics and people from other conservative religions. And so those kids can know that they are whole people, they don't need to change, and that they are going to be accepted in society. Thank you.
We'll now hear remarks from our health officer, Dr. Sarah Cody, followed by Dr. Marty Fenstershed.
want to thank Maribel and thank Ken. It's wonderful to be here. And we in the Public Health Department are so pleased to hear this development. If it provides even a handful of LGBTQ people with a greater sense of well-being and freedom, then it's a good thing. We know that inclusion, acceptance, and a sense of belonging are good for our health. And in Santa Clara County, under the leadership of former Supervisor Ken Yeager and former County Health Officer Marty Fensterscheib, we have made great progress in ensuring that the entire community of LGBTQ people and their families are living full, healthy, and happy lives. And I, as always, am so proud to be an ally and to be living and working in this community. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here today. It's great to see you all. And while I applaud Pope Francis's more inclusive stand today, his need for this action is really a reminder to us all that the LGBTQ community doesn't enjoy equal rights in many, many parts of the world, and even in this country, and that these rights remain still very, very fragile. And while I hope that the religious communities, Catholic and others, continue to move forward in welcoming and including the LGBT community individuals, we must not see any actions in this country, in our country, that would take away human rights, won through very hard-fought battles, including the right to marry in this country. During these very challenging times, living through this pandemic, it's always heartening, though, to see acts of courage and love. Let this action today be an example to all of us. Thank you.
This concludes our comments in English. I'll next like to introduce Ricardo Romero Morales, who will provide some comments in Spanish.
Muchas gracias a todos por estar aquí el día de hoy. Primero que nada, mi nombre es Ricardo Romero Morales, trabajo para el Departamento de Salud Pública y con esta noticia, como parte de la comunidad LGBTQ de aquí del condado de Santa Clara y también como trabajador de salud pública, me causa mucha emoción escuchar esta noticia. Todos merecemos tener una familia, todos merecemos poder ser amados abiertamente y tener un estatus social. Lo que acaba de hacer el Papa es algo respetuoso, lo cual beneficia mucho de nuestra comunidad hispana y latina también, para que podamos tener el apoyo que se necesita. Y esto es solamente el primer paso para seguir adelante, el primer paso para ver nuevos cambios en nuestra comunidad, que también seguirá manteniendo este impacto positivo en la salud de nuestros miembros de la comunidad. No solamente la salud física, pero también la salud mental. Entonces, esto es solamente el principio. Gracias.
Thank you. That concludes our statements. We will be available for any one-on-one interviews or any other comments. Thank you so much.